you see pendant turtle rock, especially with a green pendant, it suggests get over there fast. So obviously with the spoiler log, we know whether we need to do that or not. The runners will make that decision later. Let's see where they start. Sanctuary, no chest again.
Yep, same start as they had in game 1. They're both heading over in towards the Kakariko area.
Maybe the Lost Woods first. I think I saw something in the Lost Woods, and I'm just going to verify if they go up there for that. Yes, James is heading that way. G3rd0 is taking out a guard with a bush. I think he might be playing for a tree pull here. He took out 4 guards, specifically 4 guards. That's how you unlock the level 2 tree pull. As James finds silver arrows in the Lost Woods, this time in the mushroom spot, not in the drop-down hole. G3rd0 is heading up there as well. It looks like he did the same thing. And getting bonked by the bird while he was at it, so that didn't go according to plan for him.
No, I think he wanted the bush crab drop, but didn't quite get that.
He's going to go head back down now and not do the tree pull, just watch another bird go by. And this time we are going to consider the inside of Blind's hideout. 5 items in here of varying value and significance. One usually locked behind a bomb, which we don't have any yet, so we can't bomb that open. But the 4 out here include a hook shot, a 20 rupee collectible, a 50 rupee prize, and I think that was a fairy in a bottle.
I believe it was a B. We may find out later.
Oh, it is a B. It is a B. I saw the replay. It is a B. And we didn't pick up anything else in here, so it looks like the item at the back was not important. It looks like we skipped the well, we skipped the bottle vendor. Heading right to the chicken hut, it looks like. Oh, no, that's the shop, sorry. That's the shop, my mistake.
Yeah, buying bombs instead of getting them the old-fashioned way of just looking for them around Hyrule.
But he managed to route in some nice money to help with that, so that's a good thing to do here. And he's going to now head back to the well. It looks like G3rd0's doing the exact same thing, doing the bomb buying. James opens up the hole, gets another 50 rupees, just in case you know you have to buy more bombs. There's another 50 rupees. There's a heart container. There's the item, the ocarina, and also the power glove. So James is going to probably make a stop to activate that flute right away.
Yeah, always super convenient to find right here in Kakariko.
And there's the mirror, and he realizes he needs to activate the flute. Probably heard me say that. Here it comes. And with that, unlike the first race, Swag Duck Air is now open for business. Call 555 Duck for your transportation needs. Disclaimer: number only works in Hyrule. Please do not call. We're not real enough. Apparently, James is not happy going to Death Mountain right away, and is going to instead go back to Link's house. There's something in here. There is the Moon Pearl.
Yep, both players flying there rather than save quitting.
And that looks like they're both heading up to Hyrule Castle. They seem to be following each other's footsteps. We saw this in the first race as well for about half an hour. G3rd0 and James were pretty much following the same path and doing the same things. It wasn't until James took a death at some point that in Turtle Rock that G3rd0 pulled away and established a significant lead and victory. But we'll see how this works out this time, if we end up getting a really close race this time, or whether again G3rd0 ends up pulling away, or James pulls back a win out of this. Some wooden sticks there.
Somewhat rarely seen open mode bomb strats for that guard.
Runners would normally come up here, I think, when they have a weapon in this type of seed. But of course, not having a permanent weapon yet, and knowing there's something they need back here, they're gonna take the shot at doing with bombs because. Nice bomb planting by g3rd0. Look at that. That's beautiful. Now, there is our Ether Medallion. Now, we may or may not need that today. We will find out as we go here whether that actually comes into play or not. Because both of those dungeons are pendants.
James choosing to stun the guard instead, which I can certainly understand.
Oh, look at this. James is not picking up the Ether Medallion. He may have surmised that it is not required. g3rd0, meanwhile, finding the shovel in Zelda's cell. Zelda's not there, but she left the shovel.
Probably dug her way out.
I can dig that. So, well, the fact that they both came down here looking for that suggests that there is something in the flute spot. We'll find out what that is later. Meanwhile, we're heading in the direction of Mini Moldrum Cave. Let's see if g3rd0 chooses to stop in there for any safeties or anything else that could be in there. Nope, walking right by. So it looks like he might be heading to Ice Rod Cave, but he's taking the long way. James, meanwhile... Oh no, they're meeting up here. James actually flew down here while g3rd0 walked over. So they're actually meeting up here in Fake Flippery.
Yeah. James struggling a little with the setup. It is more difficult without a sword.
Because runners have the Moon Pearl, they're able to fake flipper their way into Waterfall Cave as well. This will give them a water walk when they come out. James takes a shot from the Zora and dies.
While you're in that fake flipper state, unfortunately, any damage will kill you. That's randomizer specific. If you do it in the base game, then it will simply soft lock forever.
Yeah, I had a feeling you were going to bring that up. That's why I let you do that. I was going to say the same thing. So, yeah, that is randomizer specific, like you said. You otherwise end up in a situation where you see the same screen with no characters on it forever. So, James is going to make another shot at the waterfall. g3rd0, meanwhile, is going to that flute spot, so we're going to get to see what is in there that these runners wanted that shovel so badly for today. The Titans, man.
Well, that's 100% required, so they definitely wanted to dig that up.
And James getting his boost and picks up the Ice Rod as well, even though he didn't pick up the ETH Medallion, he picked up the Ice Rod anyway.
It is a weapon that can kill some enemies.
Yeah, like land molas. Ooh, we're gonna see what's in the library for g3rd0. Look at that, the hammer is in the library.
So they now have complete Dark World access to all of the portals.
So it's nice to know they're not going to have to go through the whole Aghanim hunt again. Not yet, anyway. We haven't seen what's on Lumberjack Ledge, so could be something later, but they have Dark World access. And g3rd0 picks up... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, g3rd0 farms up some bombs outside of the dig spot to get up to 10.
And it picks up the key in the sanctuary just because. That is the Hyrule Castle small key, by the way.
James getting trolled a little bit by the dead rocks on what I consider to be the worst screen in the game.
Takes another death on the mountain as well. That is not good, but at least he's not going to start too far away. Actually, no, he has to flute there again, so I guess he does start far away.
We'll see Gerdo heading into Paradox Cave, picking up to 7 chests here, but he might bypass some of them.
It's being asked in chat, did they just skip a logical Aghanim requirement? Flippers in East Dark World being suggested. I will just double check and confirm this.
I actually do know where the flippers are. They did not.
Yes, I can confirm that they also did not skip that. That is all we will confirm about the flippers location right now.
Both of them going for these safeties in Paradox Cave. Pretty dense on safeties, nothing else there, but definitely don't mind getting extra health and a blue potion.
So looking back, what was picked up by Fake Flipper was the Pegasus boots. So we haven't had anything open up yet that I can think of that involved the Pegasus boots. So at this point, anything that involves the boots would be a sequence break.
They did also grab the ice rod through it, but yeah, so the hammer...
Yeah, that would only be Turtle Rock or something like that, so nothing really big there.
But in turn, the boots led to the hammer, so it's going to be a little tough to track what is sequence broken.
True, I forgot about the hammer. The hammer would be a sequence break. And there's our first sword on James' side. Gerdo already picked that up in Spiral Cave.
Yeah, that's relatively late to get a sword in these spoiler seeds. Bit mean from the bot. Yeah,
the swords must be very awkwardly placed today to have that kind of situation where the swords are so sparsely spread out that you have to go through a long cave like that just to get your first one. Making a quick trip to the Meyer shed here.
Yeah, James, double-checking his menu, may be realizing that he passed up on that ether medallion earlier.
At the same time, if it's not required, then there's no reason for him to need to go back for that. He does pick up the red mail, meanwhile, so both mail upgrades have been found. He also picked up 300 rupees. Gerdo, of course, picking those up as well, it looks like. And look where we are now. We're in Checkerboard Cave. I'd say that's important. What about you?
Only slightly required. Also, given that they have silver is now their best weapon for anything it can actually damage.
Yep, that will, as long as they have the arrows in their inventory, that is correct. It will do a lot more damage to certain enemies, bosses, than the sword will. Now, our sequence breaking is starting to get a little silly here because we have the hammer, but we have not completed the loop on where the flippers are yet to lead to the hammer in that chain. So we know the flippers would not be over here to make it a logical sequence unless Aghanim was required. And we have, all we will confirm at this point is that the flippers are not over here. So this is not where the sequence will get tied together. They are somewhere else, and we'll tie that together later. So anything here technically is a sequence break until we can get those flippers.
Some nice sync going on here as they do the opening rooms of Pod.
And as they get their heart container in the first chest, which very often has a key, in this case it doesn't. Someone asking in chat, can we explain how spoiler log works? Spoiler log races work. The runners, well, the answer already being given in chat. The runners already have received a spoiler log of all the locations of every item in the game. They know where things like the flippers are, they know where the lamp is, they know where the Book of Midori is, they know where the Cane of Samaria is, they know where everything in the game is. Every sword, both mail upgrades, which they already picked up, all the medallions, they know every single thing to do with the seed without having to play the seed randomly to start with. That means that they now have the ability to route the seed and try and do it as fast as possible, and the person who wins is the person who does it fastest.
Yeah, this goes all the way down to things like the rupee crab drops and the tree pulls. About the only things not in that log are the teleport patterns for Ganon and Aga.
Or the blue balls, because it's impossible to... I don't think it's possible to really get that out of there in a certain way without denoting the exact pattern that is used.
A very convenient spot for the lamp, given that that's in the dungeon with one of the worst dark rooms in the game to do, especially without the fire rod.
So there was the lamp. You can consider that currently on the sequence break for the hammer, pending the in the hammer chain. You can consider that part of that sequence break pending where we find other access points later, like the flippers, for example. If we can have flippers and 2 gloves, that lamp could also fall on that chain as well. Big Key was in here. That's all they want. All he wants. g3rd0 is going to go get the heart container from the big chest. And he's going to continue in Piles of Darkness. I don't think we saw g3rd0 go up here yet, so I wonder if g3rd0 might have forgotten something up here.
Well, James definitely needs another key. g3rd0 did the hammer yump, so he had one.
Ah, that's what it is. Okay, he just got a key and got out.
Yeah, g3rd0's up to, I believe that's 8 hearts and red mail. That's pretty good for this style of race.
And g3rd0 shoots the statue and in the eye, which somehow in Nintendo world causes walls to move.
Is that what breaks your suspension of disbelief in the game?
I don't know. There are discussions on chat on why it's called a hammer yump right now. I'm not going to get involved in that one because I don't know the details to that myself. I think it had something to do with the Japanese player or something like that, but I'm not 100% sure.
I have no idea. I've just never heard anybody call it a jump, and I didn't want to, break the trend.
Oh, maybe it was a British player, according to someone in chat, because a yump is, well, never mind. We won't talk about that because we have a Helmet Star King fight to talk about on Gerdo's side, and James is doing the same thing right now. So they're removing that mask with the hammer, and, well, there was a Helmet Star King there. You're going to see it on James' side now because Gerdo's already vaporized it. So James is now doing his own turn at guarding himself with the sword while also prying the mask off, and fires his own silver arrow into the jewel, and that is the fight for him.
Yeah, the silver arrows are a little better than trying to do that with the hammer.
Gerdo changes worlds and does some inter-world travel into Eastern Palace. And Gerdo notably going by the hint tile because we don't need any hint tiles here, though the one time I've seen it in this tournament so far just for fun, it turned out to be a useful hint. That was kind of funny.
Yeah, I saw that race. Something about the flipper location, if I remember right.
And according to fun fact from that runner, he had forgotten where the flippers were apparently, or didn't notice where they were initially, so it actually helped him.
Yeah, I tried to argue that they should replace all the hint tiles for this tournament with just go look in your log, but
he just hears Sahasrara, "Why are you asking me?"
the always fun vanilla big key location in Eastern, it's much happier when you can just ignore this location.
Very much so. A lot of time spent to get down here. Gerdo, meanwhile, on his way up to the upper floor, is going to soon be coming across a group of 6 very weak knights. And very clean room there. Spin slash the 6 jellyfish. Kill the 2 creatures with arrows. And go fight 6 weak knights. And 6 weak knights come to life. And yeah, they were weak.
Yeah, they really weren't designed for you to have the silver arrows here.
So 6 weak knights have been vaporized once, and we're going to see a replay on James' side now from a different angle. But same result, 6 weak knights are gone. They gets a piece of paper with something on it, and gets his crystal and gets out of there. Comment in chat. Activating a hint tile in a spoiler term, it should start a message 1 minute long about why did you do that.
I mean, there's that pink bouncing thing on Death Mountain. That's about that long.
Yeah, about that long. Put the entire spoiler log into each of the hints.
Meanwhile, we finally get the Sword of Evil's Bane out of Hype Cave. Oh, these dead rocks are getting in Gerdo's way, but he's able to make his way past them.
So, Super Buddy Cave revealing a fire rod in it. And we found what James wanted out of Hookshot Cave. He doesn't want anything else. He just took the half magic and ran.
Nothing wrong with half magic, especially when you haven't done Skullwoods yet or a couple of the other bosses that are really more convenient with it.
And is this going to be a Swamp Palace play for James?
Well, he hasn't done Hype Cave yet, so he's definitely going to go there. He might go to Swamp after.
Well, this assumes that, of course, that there is something in Hype Cave.
We saw Gerdo grab Master Sword from there.
Oh, I didn't catch that. I did catch that. Okay. Let's see how many items we get to see out of Hype Cave here from this. I didn't see if Gerdo opened them all earlier. But we don't get to see the first one. We do get to see the Master Sword, and that's it. And that's what you call a bonk. And it gets out of the portal, summons the duck.
Not going to try for the flipperless swamp again this seed.
That's probably for the better.
Though, interestingly, at this point, depending on where in Ganon's Tower the big key is, our runners may actually be in go mode.
Yeah, this also depends on whether Turtle Rock or Misery Mire have something as well. But obviously, if they're Pendant Dungeons and they've got most of their items already, they most likely do not, and they could be in go mode.
I mean, technically, they're still sequence-breaking flippers. One presumes that won't stop them from continuing to do so for ice.
I mean, we know it's not in. We know the flippers are likely not in some arcane location like Turtle Rock at this point. It doesn't seem likely they would be there, given what we needed to get with them so far.
Yeah, while I can't keep up with the full sequence break, they definitely can't be in Turtle Rock because Hammer is behind the sequence break.
Exactly. By logic, they would need some other way to get in there. And we already have guesses in chat. This is probably going to be a, quote, Samaria-less seed. Birdo getting the worms down in Desert Palace. James is heading over to the Sunshine Room. We do have to clear Total Rock on this particular go. That means we will get to see everyone's favorite punny master. Wah, wah, wah.
Sadly, no unique blind puns for this tournament. We did see in Game 1 the unique Ganon text. Or rather, one of the unique Ganon texts.
I did ask why we were not putting blind puns in, and the reply was, doesn't he have enough?
I actually don't know what the count is on all of those texts.
But yeah, we don't need to give someone who has a lot of very bad jokes more bad jokes.
So both runners back into the same dungeon. Gerdo's got that Desert Palace clear.
Maiden is picked up. We're going to ignore the chest. So we're going to get the maiden to the room. And we're going to get to see what Blind wants to say to us today. Today's blind pun is... Ganon is a beacon of despair.
You know, I don't think I've ever actually seen that one. It's,
So we do have blind puns. Yeah, that is a new one. I think you're right.
It's possible I just have never seen it before. I've only done 100 or so of these.
Give or take.
If there are that many of them, then, you know, you wouldn't see all of them, especially on many non-blind seeds, like our Game 1 seed. It's not spoiler tournament specific, but it might be one that they just snuck into the base V30. I know they add them from time to time because someone really enjoys them.
Oh, we're just getting confirmation from Senek that that was one. Capitals, one, he added. But it is noted that, and I agree, and I know they would have done this as well, the version 30.4 would have added a few more as well. If you want to know specifically which ones those are, those would be found in other matches as well, whereas the ones that are only in this version are specifically through Synac's site, and you won't see those in the main races. So, for example, that unique one from last race on the Ganon, I think that is just us.
James snagging the powder out of Skullwoods, a very nice item to have.
It can definitely unlock an item at Magic Bat, or it is just a good safety because it helps you get the anti-fairies and turn them into real fairies, because real fairies hurt you and anti-fairies don't.
Getting the key out of the official least random chest in the game.
There's two of those. Well, maybe not in Key Sandy. There's only one there. But
yeah, that one is a key in every mode. So
that's true.
Better. I assume you're talking about First of Swamp.
Yeah. Oh, and now Sonic is confirming that that Beacon of Despair is not his. Okay. James just dodging grabby grab. And Gerdo is following behind going into Swamp Palace.
Here, Skullwoods.
I did say Swamp Palace. Okay, Skullwoods. I knew something didn't sound right with that.
It's usually Mire I confuse with Swamp Palace. Mire feels much more swampy than Swamp does to me.
I used to do that too, actually. I used to call Misery Mire Swamp Palace all the time. Okay, well, James, you will dodge the last grabby grab and fall in the pit successfully. Yes. And g3rd0 trying to... Oh, wow, that is a weird sequence g3rd0 just went through there. He wanted to make sure he took the hit before coming into this room to fight the mummy, because he got turned into a bunny. And now he's going to drop in and start his own bug fight, which James just finished, so a little bit of a high five here. As James is holding up the crystal in celebration while g3rd0 is dancing around him with the bug.
Yeah, some nice fire rod strats on both sides, courtesy of the half magic.
And in case you need it, the reminder that the Swamp Palace boss can drop its own big key, because you don't need the big key to get in there. James is heading towards the Mire Shed.
Probably for Desert. He's already cleared out Mire Shed.
Okay, yeah, I thought he did. I thought he did. I didn't figure it out for a second, but yeah, Desert Palace is where he's going.
And meanwhile, g3rd0's fake flippering over to Ice, presumably.
So this is interesting. They're pushing this fake flipper sequence as much as they can here.
At this point, you just kind of have to assume they're planning on never picking up the flippers.
Which is probably the case because Swamp Palace is a pendant. The question in chat, where were flippers? We will hold that later until we confirm whether they are actually needed, but I can't say that one runner at least has bypassed them. So we'll confirm that in a little while here. Actually, let me just take a quick look here. I'm going to confirm whether we're actually in true go mode at this point, because if so, then we can reveal that information. Looking at Ice Palace, that's what we're fake flippering right now on g3rd0's side. James is doing Desert Palace. We also have Tower of Her, which will probably be done last. You know what? I would say at this point they are in go mode. So let me actually just to verify the exact location, and I will confirm for everyone watching here where that is. The flippers were actually in that big chest of Skull Woods, and they would have only been needed if we were actually going into Swamp Palace. So because we weren't going into Swamp Palace, they were deemed to be out of the way and not necessary to pick up.
Yeah, the only way they're not in go mode is if the Ganon's Tower big key requires the Cane of Samaria.
For a fact that neither runner seems to be in a hurry to pick the flippers up, it's very possible either they did not calculate this, or they already know that it does not require the Cane of Samaria, and therefore they're not worried about it. By the way, I'd actually have to confirm where the Cane of Samaria is now that I think about it. Ah, okay, I remember that now.
Yeah, I think I remember, but I'm not going to look now.
James forgetting that he didn't have free access to the water. Now, a little strategy that some runners use when they're setting up fake flippers is they will plant a bomb and let it push them all the way to the edge of the screen. Then they can just drop in the water and push left, and they're immediately able to fake flipper over on the first try.
I'll have to keep that in mind. I actually didn't know that setup. I've always used boots or sword slashes.
I've seen it before, so it actually does work. And it looks like Gerudo is being admonished for not using bombos in Ice Palace.
Yeah, I believe it is slower than Fire Rod, but I tend to use it so that I can just Fire Rod Cold Stare down. It looks like he's heading up towards Hera for his last crystal. He's basically Ice Palace ahead at this point.
And yeah, he's going to definitely skip by Turtle Rock because he doesn't have Canadian Samaria, which at this point I think it's safe for us to confirm where that is too. That was in the back of escape. For what they need, Gerudo is effectively in go mode, and so is James at this point, I would say. So those items are not necessary today.
Yeah, kind of narrows down your guesses here in a little bit.
Of course, if you still want to guess Compass Room, you are welcome to. They may just bomb jump it for all we know.
That being said, given that it's just a mirror away, feel free to start guessing once he gets into the fight against Trolldorm.
Yeah, we will need to start guessing this one before he gets in the fight, I believe. Anyway, James is working his way through Ice Palace, going through the fire bar, one of the fire bar chambers here. I don't know how the ice stays solid in that place with that fire floating around there. That's kind of creepy and weird.
Probably some kind of magic.
Cold Stare is just that cold.
It looks like Gerudo's going to go with hammer strats rather than master sword spins, judging by switching to it.
I have no objection to that. And get your guesses in chat quickly, ladies and gentlemen. We don't have long to play the game this time. As James sees on Cold Stare. Oh no, I didn't catch the moment. It was to the second eyeball. One was already down. He died to the second one. So Gerudo is going to head across the Gans Tower. I don't see any guesses in chat for the big key game. Pick a location.
James heading towards the potion shop.
8 is not a valid answer for this game. We're looking for locations, not numbers for this game. I'm going to go, of course, with Random Room top right again. But you know what? We actually saw the logs. So we can't really even play. We had to look this up when we found the Pegasus boots earlier, and it's right there on the big torch.
2 for 2 on that location in this match.
Yeah, we need to get the white out and fix that one.
I guess when Synak was handcrafting this seed after game 1, he just had to rush it a little bit because of the doubleheader.
Yeah, didn't have time to change everything.
But meanwhile, Gerdo's on pace as for a really good time as he heads into the gauntlet at 45 minutes on the timer.
Now, there's a question in chat, where is Samari? I said that was in the back of Escape, like the secret room where the 3 chests are. As for the other swords, just in case Gerdo or James decide to route another one, we'll hold that out for a moment, because there could be swords here in Gan's Tower that we don't want to reveal yet. What I can do is I can look up where any that are outside Gan's Tower. Well, let me look that up. Okay, one of the swords was in Misery Mire. That one I will reveal because I don't think either runner is going to be going there. It was in the map chest in Misery Mire. So the 4th one we'll hold out and see just in case it is here in Gan's Tower.
James is low on health going into this bomb jump. Gonna have to burn a blue potion if he doesn't get this first try. Or I guess he didn't have to. If he had failed that, he would have died. Seldom seen bow strats on these whiz robes, as Kano Samaria is back of Escape.
Yeah, so we get to have a little fun with a different strategy today for these guys.
It didn't even have sword beams, so I had to pull out the bow for them.
That's when you know you're doing something unique. James is trying to make his way back to the bottom of Cold Stairs layer.
Yeah, gonna stop and grab this anti-fairy into a fairy. Just to have full health going into it.
With 6 hearts, you can't treasure that enough.
We see Gerdo.
Go ahead.
We see Gerdo use his blue potion and get a tempered sword in the chest before Moldorm. He did not pick up the powder, so he couldn't just refill there.
And that was why I didn't want to reveal all the sword locations yet. So that was the last and 4th sword in the game. The one they did not pick up was in Misery Mire. Get Cold Stare down. Yes, both eyes are down. And Gerdo is going to have another geometry quiz. Oh, this is a triple. Easy triple. Except those 2 might have counted at the same time, so it's only a double. That's a shame. I think that's only 4 hits so far. And takes a zap from Aghanim's body.
Yeah, getting some pretty rude patterns here.
Five. There it is. So, once again, it's time for the Big Pig, as G3rd0 is now going to get to watch the bat fly through the chamber again. James on his way upstairs. He's heading over to Tower of Hero right now. This is the seventh and final crystal he needs before he can start climbing Aghanim's tower. And G3rd0 drops in again, and again says, so you decided to copy Axe Root. How did that work out for you? Kyung would have done sub 50.
Kyung being our 1 seed, and G3rd0 is right on the edge of a sub 50. I'm guessing if this goes smoothly, he'll finish at about 51-30.
Yeah, I would say about that. But yeah, that's again in Texas is a tribute to our number 1 seed, Kyung.
Also kind of a shot at our number, I believe, 19 seed or something like that, Ak.
No, I think it's 24. Super Nintendo was 9, Ak was 24, and Ak managed to win that 2-0, so he was number 24 seed. Which I guess now makes him the number 9 seed, but I don't know. Anyway, G3rd0 does finish the GAN fight very, very smoothly once again, and is going to be finishing his second race here. Going to win the series 2-0 if he can cross this bridge. He does so. His official time with the spoiler log is a 1:06.43, so that is 51:43. Oh my god.
Good games to G3rd0, both 1 and 2.
And it looks like James has forfeit once again. Out of respect for his opponent, he has determined to go ahead and call it a day here. And I can't blame him for that. He had some difficulty with some of the short health, like some of the things he has to do with short health in this kind of a run. So he's trying to take some risks, and it didn't work out for him. And that's how it works sometimes, unfortunately. So he did give it a good effort. We do appreciate the effort he put in. Was very entertaining races, especially that first one for about the first half hour, where we were pretty much doing things in sync the entire time. But in the end, G3rd0 was just too good for this matchup, unfortunately, for him.
Yeah, but with the match decided, I believe G3rd0's opponent for the round of 16 hasn't been decided yet, but he'll be playing. Moving on, James is going to be out of the tournament, but we'll see if we can get them in for an interview here.
Indeed, they're both welcome to join us if they wish to chat about the races that they just completed. And I'm going to see if I can look up the bracket to confirm exactly what the standings are here. There it is.
It looks like he will be playing weighty words.
Looks like it's already been updated ahead of me here. Synac is ahead of me on updating this. So it is G3rd0 versus Rady Words in the next round. That is correct. So we have that to look forward to in the following coming days here. That's going to be our round 2 matchup for those two runners. And that's one of our few round 2 matchups already decided. Other matchups that are already known. We have Zero Rush versus 1UP. We have ACMLM versus GamerCal. We have Ben Teasy versus Activoker, and Kyung is going to be facing off against Wolfie, who evened the score in their spring tournament matchups by winning that series. I think it was a 2-1, if I remember correctly, after Farami won 2-0 way back in the spring tournament in the same matchup. So those 5 matchups are known for the round of 16. Other matchups that are still to be decided, we have Pika Pals versus F. Coughlin, Fred. We have Zelga Disson versus Quizbowl, which is currently 1-0. And we have Aussie versus Chelsea X-Lin, which is also sitting at 1-0. Those matchups are not decided yet. So those are still to be played before we have our entire round of 16. And I do see still had all these, which is our James sitting in the waiting room here. So we'll see if we can get G3rd0 in here, and then we'll bring it both in at once. I want to see if we can get G3rd0 too. Let me see if he wants to chat as well. Oh, Gerdo can't interview right now, so we just have James here. James, GG.
Hey, sure, yeah. I feel like that Gerdo can't show up for the interview, so who's the real winner here?
Chat. Chat is the winner. We got Magnum seed. We got Naga seed. So
we got Naga
the winner.
seed. We got a Jet seed. Yeah, these were actually two of the easier seeds that I've had to route through all the practice that I've done.
I see.
And I know Gerda was watching my stream because I forgot Fire Rod in the first trip up to Death Mountain. The only trip up to Death Mountain there should have been in race 2, but I'm definitely not going to out execute him. So my only chance was to outroute him, and that didn't work out as well as I'd hoped.
There was one time we kind of figured that he was watching your stream as well in the first race when he brought up the continue or save and quit menu, and then you went and used the mirror in that exact location. He had it up, so he paused out of the menu, brought up the mirror, and followed you.
Yeah, for sure.
We figured out at that point, yeah, he's following you.
Yeah. And yeah, he's a much better player than I am. I don't speed run this a ton, so I don't have the experience that he has, and it showed. It definitely showed in these races.
There's no shame in that. You did put a good effort into it, but I'll agree with what you said. The times where you took on some falls there were inopportune times for that to happen. Obviously, Guru didn't have those falls. That's what led to him getting those wins, obviously. I thought it was cute for the first half hour of the first seed. You were just basically mirroring each other and right into both trying to do swap without flippers. To get
right. Yeah, like I had it written down that flippers were stumpy in that race, and I just forgot.
No, that was hilarious though. I have to clip that. That was funny.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was a as you said, those were two fairly easy seeds, with the exception of the Aghanim seed and the first one. They were also pretty basic seeds to a certain extent too, with the fake flipper being brought into play here as well.
Yeah, it's even with Aghanim in seed 1, it was pretty easy to route out. It's just didn't execute as well as I needed to. Like I've had some seeds where I've had to like triple dip into Turtle Rock or dip into every pendant dungeon, and then in these ones, the second seed, there was no pendant dungeon dips at all. It was pure 7 crystals and go. And then in the first seed, there's only a tiny dip into Thieves Town. So these were two very straightforward seeds.
Indeed. Mercer, you want to ask anything?
Yeah, I was actually going to ask, do you think it really counts as an Naga seed if he doesn't have any blue balls?
I would like to get those in Hundo runs, but not here. But yeah, it always counts as an Naga seed if you have to go through it, because that's a place where the lamp was pretty accessible for me in this one. But if it's not easily accessible, there's a place where you can definitely put a skill difference where someone's got the lamp and someone doesn't.
Yeah, the lamp was pretty nicely placed in both of these. How comfortable are you with the different dark rooms? Was that to your advantage, you think?
It was definitely my advantage. I definitely can't do Aga Dark, and I'm still trying to learn Mire Dark and haven't. I can do the rest of them Dark, that's fine. But where the lamp was in both DCs was pretty nice. I thought about doing Pod and Eastern Dark in C2, and it just didn't make sense to not take the 10 seconds to hop down there, especially once I knew I had to have Mirror beforehand.
Yeah, absolutely. With it that close, it seems totally worth grabbing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any routing changes you would have made with more time? I'm not sure what strategy you usually take for laying these out.
I might have looked. I definitely would have paid more attention to what I needed to do on Death Mountain and C2, and I would have had more time to like write out a route, an entire route. I was doing it in pen and paper, With my practice, I've been doing it in Notepad. So it's a little harder to get all my notes down and stack out an entire route on paper, but it's a lot easier to get things done quickly, which I was more worried about than trying to get to the best route I could in that time frame. Because with the ability for Garo to watch me, there's really no point to like find the route because he's just going to out execute me doing that route. So I just wanted to get things written down and give myself a minute or two before the seed even started to just breathe and try and relax. I would have found a couple more heart containers in seed 2. 6 is really pushing it for me. 7 or 8 I'm okay with, but 6 is pretty low on where I want to be to try and beat the game.
Sure, that all makes sense. I actually did not realize you were doing it on pen and paper. That I can see where it would be much easier to use while you're running it, but it seems like it would be very stressful in the hands.
Yeah, it's not that bad. It really isn't that bad. I just was able to I make notes on each dungeon, and routes for Pod and Meyer if they're required. And this seed, Meyer was never required, which is pretty nice. GT Big Key was very convenient in both of them. Not that I ever saw it, but yeah, these were pretty simple seeds to route out. At least get a skeleton of.
Okay, good. Anything else you want to say? Any other things about the seed or about the races?
No, this is kind of what I expected. I did not have high hopes going into this, but it's a lot of fun. You should fans out there should give us a follow, give the commentators a follow, and our tracker. Everyone's doing a lot of hard work to make sure this tournament goes smoothly, and it's been really well run so far. So thanks to you guys for commentating. Thanks to FnX for running everything. And hopefully the rest of the tournament is as exciting as some of the other races in this have been, and not these two.
Speaking of the rest of the tournament, now that you're on your way, unfortunately, out of the tournament, you gotta pick someone to win it all. Who do you think's gonna win?
So I got my brackets, and I've got Zelda winning it all. Zelda Disson.
Ooh, Zelda Disson. Well, we'll see if that ends up coming true. I think he was the 3rd seed, if I remember correctly.
He was. Also, my bracket is definitely pristine after this match. That's for sure.
I don't think I ever submitted mine, but I probably should have. You picked Actiboker too?
I did pick Actiboker.
Very nicely done then. I didn't even submit one, so I can't even brag about anything here, unfortunately for me. But good luck on the rest of your bracket predictions there, and thank you for participating in the tournament, and we look forward to seeing you in the future.
All right.
So with that said, I'm just going to bring you up, if I can get it back in front of me, because it's way over another tab now, information on other races coming up on the schedule here. I don't think there's really many more coming up today, but I will just confirm in a second here. Unless, do you have it up already, Mercer?
The schedule? I do. Give me one moment.
We'll see who gets to it first. Actually, I think I just found it. The next race I'm showing appears to be...
I believe this was the last today. There's ones tomorrow.
9:45 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow is the first race I'm showing right now. And that is the start of that F. Coughlin versus Pika Pals set that I mentioned earlier that had not started yet. Game 2 in Aussie 101 versus Chelsea X Lynn will be at 11:30 tomorrow night. And the next day, Tuesday, we have 8 o'clock Eastern Time, Quiz Bowl versus Zalgadis in Game 2. So we're going to get to see your prediction continue on Tuesday night. And Aussie and Chelsea have Game 3 scheduled just in case it's needed, and other races for the other Game 2 of the Pika Pals Fred match is not yet scheduled, so that should be coming up in the future here as well. But other than that, most of the races coming up now will probably be round of 32, and we're going to round of 16 rather, top 16, and we're going to get to see some things get a little tougher, a little more interesting, a little faster down the line as everyone's going to start running into much stiffer competition, and the race is just going to get all that more exciting as we go down the line. What do you think?
Yeah, there's already been some great races, of course. I know there was a Game 3 decided by about 10 seconds earlier today that I highly recommend watching the VOD of. I won't tell you which one if you're watching. But I'm definitely looking forward to some of these races. I also didn't submit a bracket, so naturally the bracket I would have submitted is completely perfect so far and will remain so.
So your bracket is always going to stay perfect.
Just like my NCAA bracket. I never picked anybody. It's all correct.
Yep, I'm 100% correct on everything. I have a perfect bracket. You're not going to beat it. Anyway, joking aside, let's look up what's coming up on the speed gaming schedule for the rest of the day here. There have been a couple changes with Game 3 in this tournament not being needed. I think something else as well. So just loading the most up-to-date version of the schedule right now. Some events I see coming on right now. After this race, it's not going to be for a while, but after this race, there is scheduled at 9 p.m. There is a Final Fantasy 1 Randomizer Spring race coming up on this channel. I think that's their Highlander tournament. So Final Fantasy 1 Randomizer is coming up on this channel between Minoshi 85 and Hyro. 9 o'clock Eastern Time again. There's some Zelda 1 Randomizer weekly race action going on at 10 o'clock tonight. That's the SGDQ flags, I believe, for when they run at SGDQ in June. And some Super Metroid Prodigy tournament going on. Actually, I think a race just finished. There's another one going on 10 o'clock tonight as well. There are other events on right now. Some Link to the Past Randomizer League on Speed Gaming main channel. Link to the Past Randomizer Daily Race on the Weekly Open that started on Speed Gaming 5 28 minutes ago. We're probably going to end up posting into that on the live channel. Other than that, you can follow all of our events that we have coming up on speedgaming.org/schedule. If you're watching on YouTube, follow that link to do that as well. And if you're in the Speed Gaming chat, the live chat, you can just type !schedule and get that same link there. With that said, any last words from you, Mercer, before we wrap up?
No, it's been a pleasure commentating with you. I'll probably check out some of the Super Metroid Prodigy tournament myself. I've been enjoying watching that. And thank you all for watching.
And I put the links in the live chat one more time for each of our runners. Make sure you give them a follow. For those watching, again, on YouTube, it's twitch.tv/ the name you see at the top of the screen, JamesFnX or g3rd0 with a 3 and a 0, I believe that is. And if you want to follow our tracker Mercer, MERCR, you can give him a follow as well. Actually, that was my co-commentator I should be talking about. Sorry. Our tracker was Verts505. Make sure you give him a follow as well. I am Cyclone or Cyclone GU. And with that said, Verts is saying he's heard. I apologize, Verts. Didn't mean to mix that up. Anyway, have a wonderful afternoon, everyone. And I want to wish you all a great rest of the day. Look forward to seeing you for some of those spoiler log races tomorrow and around the league races for that event as well. And we're probably going to posting into the Daily Open. So I want to wish you all a wonderful afternoon. Thank you for watching. May not all your seeds be pet seeds.